Hello again, welcome to Quick Yoga. My name is Marella. I invite you to take a good sitting position, press your sit bones into the floor and sit tall. And to ground ourselves and center ourselves today, we'll open as usual with 3 Ohms. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. You might like to close your eyes or keep them open with a soft gaze some feet in front of you. Exhale, inhale. 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 Release your hands, open your eyes. Word of the day, coming back to a theme I used last week, which is Garden of the Heart, and I guess it's seed sowing, so I do a little bit of gardening in the other half of my life, and I grow most of my own vegetables. The thing is about gardening, it's cyclical in that you sow the seeds, the plant matures, you maintain it, and then it bears fruit and you harvest it, it decays and dies, and that goes on season to season, year after year. And it's a bit like our yoga. Every day we sit on the mat and we start off and we're slow and we gradually warm up into the practice and really come into a type of flow. We can feel our bodies getting stronger as we move through the practice. So we're harvesting, and then even later than towards the end of the practice we begin to slow down and the practice comes to a finish. So everything changes all the time, everything is cyclical in life, and practice to practice our bodies change, and as we practice that's what we harvest. So come onto your mat today, and what you put in is what you will receive. Come onto your hands and knees and come into cat-cow. Exhale, round your back up towards the ceiling, and inhale, lift your head and look up, sink down between your shoulder blades. Exhaling, rounding up. Inhaling, sinking down body, following breath. Lovely movement in that spine. Being a gardener, I spend a lot of time in the garden and my hunkers are bent over things, and I really appreciate it. Come onto the mat and I'm beginning to move my spine. It feels really good. I've just completed a very long day in the garden here in Ireland. And come to a place of stillness and moving into tiger. Lift your right hand arm off the floor, your left leg out behind you, flex and point it. Stretch your tips of your fingers away from the tips of your 2 toes. Engage your quads and your back leg. Engage your biceps on your front arm. Engage your biceps in both arms actually. And switch to the other side. Left arm up, right leg out behind you, flex and point. And then back into tiger, same arm, same leg. I call this wibbly wobbly tiger. Lift your right arm out in front, your right leg out behind. Again, flexing and pointing and stretching. And release and switch to the other side. Left arm out in front, left leg out behind. And release, and moving into tremulosa. And come and sit down. Sorry. Come and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Sit down on your heels. And place your blocks. You can put your hands on the floor. I'm personally not able to lift myself off from my hands, but I can do it with the aid of blocks. So place your blocks halfway between your knees and your hips, and super glue your heels to your hips, and inhale and lift your knees, lift your feet off the floor, even if you just get one foot up. And release down and switch to the other side. Come onto your hands and knees and cross your ankles in the other directions. Sit back on your heels, and again pressing down with your hands into the blocks, levitate your feet off the floor. And release, and place your blocks off to one side. Moving into leg lifts, come and lie on your back. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows into the side of your face. Bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Inhale, stretch your legs up. Exhale, inhale, lower your legs to the floor. Exhale, bring them back up. See if you can do 2 sets of 5. Body following breath. Of course, if you have lower back problems going on, do it with your knees bent, or one leg at a time. Squeezing your legs together. And release, and make your way to standing, moving into crescent. Lift your arms overhead, clasp your right wrist with your left hand, move your hips to the right, your torso to the left, be as sideways as possible. Root down equally with both feet into the floor. Feet can be together, more difficult, or inner hip width apart. Try not to collapse into the side that you're crescenting towards. There's a new verb for you. Inhale, come back up to centre and clasp your left wrist and be as sideways as possible. Inhale back to centre. And coming into power pose, hands band, either feet inner hip width apart or feet together, ankles together. Clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Bring your thumbs onto the small of your back there by bending your elbows, and then bend your knees, lower your hips, round your back. Bring your forehead to your knees, lift your arms off your back. Stretch your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Sit back in your throne. Inhale, press down, stand up. And coming into power pose, lift your arms overhead, hands shoulder width apart, point palms towards each other. Bend your knees, lower your hips, back straight, gaze straight ahead. Push into your ankles. Inhale, press down, stand up. And moving into tree pose, shift your weight onto your left foot. And lift your right foot and place against your ankle, your shin, or your upper inner thigh. Bring your hands as if in prayer in front of you. Stay here, more doable. Or inhale and lift your arms over and press your palms together. Stretch the tops of your fingers up towards the universe. Root down into the earth with your standing foot. Lift your gaze. Inhale, exhale, release your arms, release your leg, and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left foot and place it on your leg. Point your toes towards the floor. Inhale your hands to your heart, stay here momentarily, or lift them overhead. Inhale, exhale, and release. And moving into warrior two, step your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out, line up your front heel so it bisects the arch of your back foot. Square your hips, your shoulders towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale your arms up, bend your front knee, sink down. Make sure both hands are in line with shoulders. Move your front knee out in line with your second toe. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Engage your quad, lift your chin, engage your biceps. Hug the muscles to the bones. Inhale, press down, stand up, and pivot your feet. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Bend your front knee, sink down, move your front knee out in line with your second toe. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Sink down even more. Draw your left buttock in underneath. And press down and stand up and walk to the back of your mat. Step your feet together. Coming into high lunge. Inhale your arms up, hands shoulder width apart, point palms in. And step forward with attitude and intention with your right foot. Bend your front knee, sink down. Lift the back of your back knee up. Lift your back heel vertical over your toes. Lift your gaze, look up. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. And switch to the other end of the mat by turning your right foot in, turn your left foot out, bend your front knee, sink down, front knee vertical over ankle. Press down, stand up, lower your arms, step your feet together. Moving into eagle, shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right leg and wrap it around the left leg. Lift the left arm and wrap the right underneath. Hug the midline and then back straight. Squeeze elbows into chest, chest into spine. and sink down, gaze straight ahead. Press down, stand up, and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left leg. Wrap it around. Outside shin to outside shin is perfectly acceptable also. Squeeze your elbows into your chest into your spine, bend the standing leg, sink down, gaze straight ahead. And press down, stand up. And coming into warrior 3 leg lifts. Inhale your arms up, clasp your hands together. Point your index fingers, step forward with your right foot, lean forward, bend your right knee, take your weight on your right foot, lift your back leg off the floor simultaneously. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, sink down with the foot. So 5 of those, moving with your breath. And come and walk to the back of your mat and switch to the other side. Inhale your arms up, step forward with your left leg, lean forward, lift your back leg off the floor, inhale, stretch up, exhale, bring it and touch it off the floor. 5 of those. Make your way back to center and coming into twisted monkey. So coming down onto your hands and knees. Step your right foot forward and then move your left hand out towards the left hand edge of your mat, and then reach back with your right hand and turn your left ankle towards your right hand and clasp your ankle. Move your left hand forward, move your hips forward and down, lift your chest, stretch your spine, roll your ribs back, roll your shoulder back, squeeze your heel towards your hip, look up, or your hip towards your heel. Switch to the other side. Right hand on the floor, left foot forward, and bend your right knee, move your left ankle towards your right hand, walk your right hand forward, move your hips forward and down, roll your left ribs back, your left shoulder back, lift your chest, look up, front knee over ankle. And release. Moving into 8 angle pose, come onto your hands and knees, walk your knees back, one hand's breadth, and then float your shoulders forward, bend your elbows, lower your chest to the floor, your chin to the floor, and walk your arms back so that your forearms are vertical, the sides halfway down your ribs. Squeeze your elbows in, turn your toes up, and lift your hips off the floor, knees on the floor, chin on the floor. Stretch your legs out behind you. And come onto your right hand side, moving into crocodile pose. Place your hand under your head, elbow in line with shoulder, shoulder in line with hip, hip in line with bottom heel, and clasp your left toe with the first two fingers of your left hand. And maybe this is as far as you can go today, or if you can, stretch your leg up, draw the whole leg towards you, engage the quad, notice your breath. And switch to the other side. I'm just going to the end of the mat so I don't turn my back on you. Again, line up elbow with shoulder, with hip, with heel. And clasp the big toe with the first two fingers and stretch the leg up. Draw the whole leg towards you. Again, it's one of those wibbly wobbly poses. Engage the quads in both legs, make both feet active. And gently release. And come and kneel up straight. Moving into gatekeeper. Stretch your right leg out. Place your hand on the floor so that your elbow is touching your knee. Lift your left arm over the top of your ear. Look up. Inhale, come back to centre and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, front heel bisecting the shin of your right leg. Place your hand on the floor, squeeze your elbow into your knee into your elbow. Lift your right arm up, look up towards your right palm. Inhale, come back to centre and come and lie on your backs and come into bridge pose. Bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips. And pressing with your heels into the floor, lift your hips up as high as you can. Walk your arms in underneath each other, clasp your hands together. Stretch your knuckles towards your heels. Make sure your toes are pointing directly forward and not out towards the sides of your mat. And then if you can, lift your hips 5 to 10% higher. Press your head into the floor, lift your chin out of your chest. And gently release. Make your way to staff pose. Sit up with your legs out in front of you. Place your hands by your sides. Press the heel of your hands into the floor. Push through your heels. Squeeze your inner shins together. Sit tall. Engage your core. Invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale, hinge forward and reach and clasp the outside edges of your feet. Gaze beyond your toes. Squeeze your inner shins towards each other, your inner thighs. Press the backs of your thighs towards the floor. Soften your elbows, just folding in on yourself. And then come back up and come and lie on your back and come into reclined child's pose. Bend both knees, bring your knees into your chest, hug them in and roll gently from side to side. And now release your arms, release your legs and make your way into relaxation. Stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out by your sides, turn your palms up, soften, release, let go, sink into the floor. Begin to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention back into your body and onto the mat. Start to awaken your body by moving your hands, your feet, perhaps giving yourself a stretch. Bend your knees, roll to one side and make your way to sitting. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Turn in one last time to honor ourselves, each other, the practice. Exhale, inhale. Oh. Thanks for practicing, thanks for coming to practice. See you on the mat.